Hello, good morning, everyone. Can you hear me? I need us to confirm you can hear me. Good morning to you, sir. Jonathan, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Good morning to you, sir. I want to believe the audio is very good. It's loud and clear. You can hear me clearly. All right, thank you very much. Good morning to you. You're welcome. Thank you for joining us. All right, thank you very much for the confirmation. Let's get right to it. Good morning once again. Thank you very much. Good morning, like that. Good morning to you too. Thank you for joining us, sir. Victor. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Thank you very much, Penske. Thank you for joining us. All right. Good morning, once again. Good morning, traders, gentlemen, ladies. It's your first time too. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us. It's great to have you join us for today's edition of the Morning Markets Review, MMR. All right. So just as a simple reminder, in this forum every day, we get to look at what's going on in the markets in terms of fundamentals and technical setups that we have. All right. And this is um, also with the hope that we'll be able to pick one or two entries, opportunities for today and even for the rest of the week as well for assets we can add to our watch list. Okay. Usually we start with the majors, the major pairs, and from there we start examining other pairs as well. That's it, all right, that we can for trade opportunities and the ones we'll be able to have to our watch list for the rest of the week, like I mentioned, all right. And I would also like to add that all of this is also with the hope that when you are listening long enough, you are also able to come up with your own strategies, profitable strategies that give you an edge over the markets. All right. Um, in terms of fundamentals for today, we have, okay, I'm going to switch to the economic calendar. We have CPI data from Canada. All right. Okay, let me apply filter so I don't see the ones I am not interested in. Okay, so all eyes will be on the CPI data for Canada coming up 1:30 p.m. All right. Of course, inflation data from Canada, it's no longer news that everyone is trying really hard to tackle inflation globally. So now, and the CPI data expected later today is an important economic indicator, of course. We use it to determine the rate of inflation, and it's released on a regular basis for different, like different economies, of course, for different assets. So it gives us a timely glimpse into uh, to measure growth rates and levels of inflation per se, right? So a higher inflation rate simply means that your money buys less, just like we currently have, or we're currently experiencing in Nigeria right now. So the CPI specifically gives us purchasing power and how fast the prices of goods and services are rising in the economy. Okay. So for today, the CPI data is expected to, according to forecast, 0.7%, okay, 0.7% according to the forecast value, all right, from a previous value of 1.1%, okay. So what this means is that when it's released by 1:30 p.m., if the actual result exceeds this forecast of 0.7%, and it's greater than 0.7%, all right? This indicates an increase in inflationary pressures, and this would likely lead to a stronger Canadian dollar, all right? And therefore, we see shares like pounds card declining, all right? If this becomes stronger at this time, okay? And on the other hand, the card would weaken if the CPI data falls short of the expected of this expected value of 0.7%. Consequently, pounds card, for example, would rise. Okay, rise. All right. So that's basically what we have for the economic calendar for today. All right. It's one to watch closely to see the outcome of that. All right. So now I'm going to switch back to the trading platform to see the technical setups we have. Just a second while I do that. You're welcome. Thank you for joining. Okay, so we have the trading platform displayed. All right, we have the trading platform. Okay, and then this is the USD index. This is the dollar index. Okay, this is the dollar index on the daily time frame. Now, with this aspect, now one can determine the overall direction of the dollar, and that's the simple reason I like to start with here. All right, because once I understand the direction of the dollar, then pairs like Euro USD, Pound USD, USD CAD, and basically the major pairs becomes very interesting to trade. All right, once you understand the direction of one of the currencies in the major pairs, all right, you'll be able to uh, determine the direction for those major pairs as well. Okay, and for the dollar index, I remember last time on this forum, let's see, was that should be 8th of April, or that should be 8th. Okay, around here, around this country. Okay, yeah. So 8 was here, this candle around here. Okay. Now I remember I was telling us that this 102.6 level with, uh, is one area to watch at that time because um, I pointed out that it was the level as soon as price closed during this option, as soon as price closed above 102.6 back here, that was what gave rise to this bullish move, or that was what confirmed this bullish rise all the way to 110. It closed above this 102.6 level. And the reason is because price has tested 102.6 level multiple times. If you look back, either as support or as resistance in the past. All right. So at this time, when we had this session last week, Tuesday, 8th of April, price was around this level. And I remember highlighting this 102.6 that it will be one to watch, all right? That in the event that price continues to get bullish above 102.6, then you can expect this to push higher even further. But the close below 102.6 will negate that, all right? And of course, we got a close below 102.6 and then an aggressive move to the downside, all right? Price currently now resting at 99.6, all right? So again, for the current level now, what happens at 99.6 would also be significant moving forward, all right? So as it seems right now, price is still around 99.6. It's still quite too close to call, okay? Still trading around 99.6. Now, let me also point out, remember we compared this move to what we got back here in September. Right, we compared that current this. Okay, so for this now, we saw series of lows and lower highs, right? Lower high created the middle, it was the lower high, and then the new low. All right. Now, for this move down here, after this new low, of course, it would be ideal to get a pullback to fill in some of this imbalance, but that did not quite play out as expected at that time. And then gave rise to this aggressive move back to 100.6 right here. All right. If you now take this and then we relate that to what we currently have, all right. Again, you see series of lows and lower highs, just like we saw before, right here as well. It was a lower high right there, and then an aggressive move down. Again, after that aggressive move down, ideally, again, we should have gotten a pullback to fill in some of this imbalance, all right? 1, 2, 3 days, 3 straight days of bearish move, all right? So ideally, I was expecting a pullback to fill in some of this imbalance, all right? But again, that didn't quite play out as expected, all right? Just like what happened back in September. Let me see. September, no, this was September, all right? Started in September 2022, okay? So again, we saw this aggressive move to the downside. We didn't quite get a full pullback. This is a shallow pullback, and then gave rise to this aggressive move to the downside, even taking out to this 100.6 level. All right. And currently, price is now at 99.6, which moving forward would also be significant. All right. Now, if you look back here, this happened July of 2023. All right, price got to 99.6 level and then became aggressive from there. Okay, again, fast forward to September of 2024, a few pips to the same 99.6 support level, price became aggressive from that point. All right, so now that price is back at 99.6, we also expect a similar scenario to play out. All right, but of course, we need more confirmations to get that move, all right? We need more confirmations. I'm going to take out all of these trend lines. Okay, so moving forward, to a large extent, this level at 9.6, whatever happens here will determine what we get from USD index, all right? Currently, price is below 99.6 on the daily time frame, all right? But of course, anything can happen. At the end of the day, we get it close back above 99.6, in which case that would 99.6 would now be serving as support for price. All right. So moving forward, we need to get more confirmation from this level. to confirm whether the bearish move will continue or this will be the bottom, just like we saw, just like we have seen multiple times in the past, right here and here as well. Okay, so let's see what it looks like on 1 hour. Okay, from 1 hour time frame, this is what we have, mostly sideways. Mostly sideways on the 1 hour time frame. Okay, so on this 1 hour time frame, of course, like I said, I'm going to keep a close eye on this 99.6 level. If price close above it, price close above 99.6, then that would signal some bullish move for the USD index. However, if we get a reversal, we get a reversal pattern around 99.6, then uh, that may signify further weakness, and then maybe we run back at this support at 98.98. All right, but it's one to watch closely. It's one to watch closely. All right, so that's for the USD index. With this in mind now, we move to Euro USD. We move to Euro USD. We move to Euro USD. All right. For Euro USD too, back here, yeah, around this area, we had price around this area last time in this forum, and then we're looking at 1.1 level, just like we're looking at 102.6 level for USD index, because the Euro USD is essentially the inverse of the dollar index, all right? That simply means that they move in the opposite direction, okay? So we're looking at 102.6 support for USD index, and then for Euro USD, we're looking at 1.1 resistance at that time, all right? And then the minute price took out 1.1 resistance, became aggressive from there. Then we got a run to 1.14278 resistance, all right? To that resistance. Let's see what you have. You're welcome. Good morning. Thank you for joining. Thank you, sir. Okay, so now that price hits this resistance at 1.14278, all right, from that resistance, you may get some correction back to the previous resistance at, now support at 1.12. It gets, we see a run towards 1.12 support. But this is daily time frame. Let's tune down to a much lower, for instance, 15 minutes. All right, 10 minutes time frame to see what we have. Okay. Um, okay. I saw head and shoulder. I think it was yesterday. Okay, yeah. This is head. Here, the left shoulder. And then here we got the right shoulder. Okay. Of course, that's a bearish reversal pattern. All right. That's a bearish reversal pattern. Of course, it gave rise to this move to the downside. It gave rise to this move to the downside. Right. So let's fast forward. And then currently, we see this consolidation, have this consolidation on Euro USD. This is 15 minutes time frame, by the way. Right, so we have this consolidation, back at support, resistance, resistance, support, resistance, and then support right here. Okay, now currently price is below the 50 period moving average. All right, price is below the 50 period moving average. All right, now for these to become bullish, to get bullish from this current level, that means that USD index has to be bearish, okay? It has to be bearish for this to become bullish from this level. Now, in the events that we get, it throws back above 99.6 and some bearish move, some bullish move above 99.6, then we're going to get a bearish move from Euro USD. In the events that US dollar becomes bullish above 99.6. Currently, we have this consolidation, all right? Of course, for this consolidation now, it means that we're expecting price to break outside of that consolidation, all right? And it may either break the resistance and get bullish, or break the support and get bearish from there, all right? But this is one to watch. This is one to watch. Currently, it's weak. Price is below the 50 period moving average. So at the end of this 15 minutes, the price closes bearish, all right? It closes bearish, then we get a run to that support, all right? We get a run at that support on the 15 minutes time frame. And then we close below that support, of course, we mean that this may continue to get bearish from the current level for Euro USD. Right. Pound USD, similar to Euro USD, This is what it looks like on the 1 hour time frame. Also bullish as expected because of the weakness of the dollar we have seen recently. All right. Let's take it to 1 hour and see what we have. See if we can let's a trend line here on time frame. Okay. All right. This is 15 minutes. This is 15 minutes time frame. 15 minutes time frame for pounds USD. All right. Now, at this level now, remember we got this trend line from the 1 hour time frame. All right. We got this trend line from the 1 hour time frame. You see multiple tests as support for that trend line. Okay. So that's a trend line from 15 minutes. This is what it looks like. This is what it looks like on 15 minutes time frame. Okay. So what this means is that, of course, this trend line is currently acting as our support, all right? Currently acting as our support. You can see rejections around that trend line, even on the 15 minutes time frame. Okay, so for pounds USD, if we get it close on this 15 minutes time frame, we get it close below this trend line, all right? We get it close below this trend line, that will signify some weakness, and then you will see a run back at 1.314. Okay, but if we get some bullish pattern around this trend line, okay, around this trend line support, we get some bullish reversal pattern, okay, then the bullish move may just continue, all right? Bullish move may just continue. But this is the expectation that I have for pounds USD. Expectation I have for pounds USD. Above this trend line, with the confirmation of a bullish reversal pattern, bullish move is expected to continue. Or in the event that we get it close below the trend line, all right, on this 15 minutes time frame, price closes below trend line support, all right, then that may give rise to some bearish continuation towards 1.314 level, the pound to USD. Okay, let's use the chat box. You do have questions for me based on the two instruments we'll be able to highlight so far. If you have questions, please endeavor to drop them in the chat box. I'm going to be checking at random. All right. USD card. Okay. Remember, we've had eyes on USD card for some time now. Okay, I still have these levels. I highlighted this consolidation. I highlighted this consolidation. And then I also mentioned that the longer this consolidation lasts, the more aggressive the resulting breakout will be, all right? Either above resistance or below support of that consolidation between 1.445 and 1.43, okay? Now, eventually, we got a break below the support side, all right? We got a break below the support, all right? Let's close below the support. We got a retest as resistance, and then we saw this aggressive move to 1.387. Now, this 1.3872 is quite significant, all right? It's very significant, and I'll show you why. It's significant because before this this most recent consolidation, we got this we got this right there that lasted for almost 2 years. Excuse me. Yeah, got this right here that lasted for almost 2 years. Yeah, you see this September 2022 and then October of 2024. All right, you see this consolidation. Now, this consolidation happened between 1.387 resistance here, say 1.387 resistance and 1.32 support. All right, you can see multiple tests at resistance and support, resistance, support, resistance, support, up to 2 years. All right. Again, the longer this consolidation lasts, the more aggressive the resulting breakout will be. All right. And then eventually, price closed above uh, resistance here at 1.387, and that gave rise to close to 1,000 pips right there. All right. And then also got this. Let's check how long this lasted. Also got this. Started here. Okay. And then here as well. December of 2024 till April of 2025, right? That consolidation phase between 1.445 and 1.43, okay? And then eventually we're going to break below the support and then it will run back to 1.387, all right? See why 1.387 is significant now? It was the resistance of this previous consolidation, all right? It was the top of that previous consolidation between right, between 1.387 here and 1.32. All right. Now price is back at 1.387. Remember, it was resistance of this previous consolidation. So currently, price is testing it as support. I'm going to take out all of these trend lines down. Okay. So currently, price is testing it as support, and then we're seeing 3 days of sideways movement right at that 1.387. 1, 2, 3. So since price touched 1.387, it's been a struggle. All right, it's been a struggle. So moving forward, it's going to take a close above 1.387, so it becomes support. Currently, price is below 1.387, right? Currently price is below 1.387, okay, which signifies weakness. But from this support now, we may see some retracement, and then maybe a bearish continuation at the end of the retracement, right? Now, all of this is happening on the daily time frame. I'd like to start on the daily time frame to check the overall direction and then tune down to a much lower one for entry opportunities, all right? So now let's see what it looks like on our time frame. Okay, this is 1 hour, let's say 30 minutes. Okay, on 30 minutes, currently below the 50 period moving average, all right? Below the 50 period moving average. So what do we need to look out for? Here, remember on the daily time frame, we saw 3 days of sideways movement, all right? Since price tested 1.387, we've seen 3 days consecutively sideways movement, all right? Now we have the high right there. We have the high right there. That's sideways movement. Then let's get the low as well. Okay, right here. Okay, so we have that consolidation in between 1.39 and 1.38, all right? Currently, price is in between, it's in the middle, and below the 50 period moving average, right? On 15 minutes, what do we have? Okay, this is some bearish move, all right? This is some bearish move on 15 minutes, all right? And then what this means is that we expect a run back to the support of that consolidation at 1.3833, all right? But first, price needs to take out support here. Price needs to take out support right here. I hope we get this. I hope we're following. Started on the daily time frame, and now we are on 15 minutes time frame. And of course, we're still looking for our sell opportunities below 1.387. All right, for USD CAD. All right, back again to the daily time frame. All right, so back on the daily time frame now, I highlighted how 1.38 level is quite significant. Right, this is 1.387. Very significant level because it was the high of the previous consolidation that lasted for almost 2 years. That lasted 2 years before we get a break, before we got a break above 1.387 at that time. That gave rise to this 1,000 pips, close to 1,000 pips more, all right? About 864 pips, all right? Very fantastic move right there. Okay, so now that price is back here at 1.387, it is one to watch, like I said, right? What happens at 1.387 to a large extent will determine the direction this goes, all right? If it closes above, back above 1.387, then that would mean that we're going to get some correction, all right? We're going to get some correction. If it stays below 1.387, then below 1.37, we continue to look for opportunities to sell, all right? And then back on the 15 minutes time frame, this is the 1.387 of interest. Currently, the seed price below 1.387, all right? So below 1.387, we continue to take sell opportunities, continue to take sell trades below 1.387, right? Double top and daily time frame, pounds USD. Okay, let's check that out. Okay, you see what's happening now. At that trend line, we now see some bullish move right there. But let's check the daily time frame when we have double top. Okay, currently price is now above this high, right? Price is now above this high. this is the car right here. And currently price is above 8. All right. So we still need additional confirmation. Still early to call right now until we see a confirmed reversal at this current level. Right? So you see a confirmed reversal. That's the only way this becomes a double top. Currently, this is the daily time frame. A lot can still happen. The daily time frame is still quite fresh. Right? We may continue to see price push higher from this level. Okay, price will just continue to push higher from this level. All right, and don't forget for this to continue to push higher, that means USD index will continue to be bearish. All right, continue to stay bearish. So that's for AG. That's for AG. So until we get a reversal at this current level, that's the only way this becomes a double top. That's the only way this becomes a double top. Of course, we can't rule out the potential setup for a double top. Can't rule it out. At the end of the day, we will get a reversal right there. Let's see 4 hours. Okay, you see prices above that area. Currently. Yeah, this is what it looks like on 1 hour. So you have price here. So it's the first stop. All right. Let's see this. So don't forget this trend line. I'm also interested in. We got it on the 1 hour time frame. Then we go into 15 minutes and see what it looks like. Tested it as support and then we're seeing this bullish move from that trend line. Ruby sees gold next, okay. One of my favorite instruments to trade. There's a trend line in 4 hours that I saw. Connected it yesterday. Right, that's it. This is good now on 4 hours time frame. Now, no doubt this has been pretty much aggressive, all right, with all the uncertainty going on with the world on global economy, right? With all the uncertainty, right? This has been aggressively bullish, right? Exponentially to say, all right? And then, so right here as resistance, right here as resistance as well, back here as resistance as well. Right? That's why I became interested in this trend line. Okay? This is the hours, then support around here. Hour. Okay. Right. So this is a 1 hour time frame. But the 1 hour time frame, you have price trading above the 50 period moving average, all right? Which means that this still has the potential to push to the upside, all right? Now, currently, see these sideways movements push between 32.41 and 31.93, all right? Here as support, here as resistance, we even have double top right there, and then it moves back to support at 31.93. A few pips away from it right there, and then seeing some bearish pressure. Okay. Now, for this bearish move now, You may expect this to come back to 31.93, all right? And then we look for opportunity to buy at 31.93, right? At 31.93. But if price takes out 31.93, that's if we can get it close below 31.93 support, then that would further confirm weakness for gold, all right? Further confirm weakness for gold. And 31.50, let me see, 3150. Right. Okay. But 3150 here as resistance, here as resistance as well. That's why 3150 is also quite significant. Okay. So on this 1 hour time frame, if we get it close below 31 at 3 here, then we will see a run to 3150 support. Okay. And then again, watch out for what happens at 3150 to determine what we do, all right, for gold. We're seeing double top here, which is a bearish reversal pattern, all right? So it is a bearish reversal pattern. Then, as much as possible, we continue to sell to take advantage of price hitting this all-time high at 32.40, all right? Take advantage of that. But this support is one to watch, like I said. This support at 31.3 is one to watch. Of course, the overall direction is still bullish. All right. The overall direction is still bullish. We're only looking for opportunities to sell in the short term, all right, because of this resistance. And then at that resistance, we've got this double top pattern. Right. We've got that pattern. That's for gold. Really do hope you've got that for gold. It's for all right. It still has some potential for more downside. It still has potential for more push to the downside. Right? Still has some potential for push to the downside. Right. So if you have questions so far based on the instruments we've been able to analyze, this will be a good time to ask. If you still have one or two you need me to touch on, you can also drop them for me, chat box. Remember, we also had eyes on NZD-USD, okay? NZD-USD, okay? For obvious reasons, all right? Here, price got to, back in March of 2020, price came to 0.555 support, and then saw this aggressive move to the upside. Fast forward to October of 2022, came back to 0.555 support, and then another move to the upside. And then currently, price retested 0.555, all right? It has even tested it multiple times, all right? It has tested it multiple times. We now have a potential for a triple bottom, 1, 2, and 3 right here, all right? And then this aggressive move all the way to 0.59 resistance, all right? Why is that? See this here as support, back here as well, right? That's why this level is quite significant. Again, this confluence of resistance right there as well. So currently, price is above 0.59. So we expect 0.59 to act as support for price moving forward. All right. And don't forget for this to continue to push higher because the asset is NZD USD. Here now, USD is the counter currency. All right. And for this to continue to push higher, it means that USD is continuing to become weaker. All right. But that's continue to push higher for NZD USD. So currently we have 0.59 as support on the daily time frame. Now let's take that to 1 hour and see what it looks like. All right, so you see the series of highs and higher highs. Let's see 10 minutes as well. Okay, so since price broke above 0.59 resistance, having seen a big test or a sweep at 0.59. Okay, haven't seen that just yet, right? So from this current level now, from this current level, uh, you see a run back at 0.59. Currently, prices are above 50 moving average, which also signifies strength. So we see a run back at 0.59 and then gets bullish from 2.59. All right, but this is we want to watch if price it tests it for a full pullback at 2.59. Okay. And don't forget, like I said, for these to push even higher, then uh, the US dollar index has to stay below 99.6 resistance, just like I highlighted earlier. We'll see check indices. Okay, let's touch on indices. We're able to touch on a number of currencies. Okay, this is US 100 now. This is US 100. You see the structure here. Low, just like retracement, lower high, then lower low right here, and then lower high, right? So from this level now, what do we have from this level? Now this is the daily time frame, and then the structure here is start of a downtrend. So this low, so this lower high, see a new low, and then currently we have a lower high as well on the daily time frame. All right. Now, ideally, after a lower high, we expect a new low, expect a new low, right? Expect a new low. Okay. So what I would say is for US 100 now, below 19,500, all right? Below 19,500. Uh, this was the previous low, all right? This low here gave rise to this lower high, all right? Gave rise to this lower high, and then eventually we got a break below this previous low, all right? So currently we expect this same level to now act as resistance for price, okay? We therefore have something like this. All right. So currently we have price in the resistance area. Okay. We have price in the resistance area. All right. This is the daily time frame. On 4 hours, it looks like this. The 1 hour, this is what we have. Just this second. All right. So this is 1 hour time frame. So 1 hour time frame. Then see multiple tests of this trend line as support. Right? See multiple tests of that trend line as support. All right. So the first sign of a bearish move here is being a group below the trend line, right? The first sign of a bearish move here, this is 1 hour. The first sign of a bearish move here will be a close below this trend line support that we have on the 1 hour time frame. Okay. Now on this same 1 hour, if we get a bullish pattern, we get some bullish pattern above this trend line. Now this trend line is currently acting as support for price. This is the 1 hour time frame. If we get some bullish patterns above the trend line, then of course it will be an opportunity to buy towards 19,500. All right, it will be an opportunity to buy towards 19,500. For example, if at the end of this 1 hour we get a bullish engulfing pattern, for example, or we get a strong bullish candle, then we will get a run back towards resistance at 19,500. All right. Now, what would invalidate this move for me would be a close below the strong line support that we see on the 1 hour time frame. We see on the 1 hour time frame. That's 100. Okay. Um, okay. It's something I would also like us to see on USD JPY. Suppose. Okay, back here, price tested 140 support. Fast forward to this period, around September 2024, it tested 140 support as well. And then right now, it's a few pips away from 140 support. Now, of course, there are no guarantees that this would come back to 140. No guarantees, of course. Now, right now, what we can see is that this 142 level is currently active as support for price. Okay, it's currently active as support for price. So what that means is that it's going to take a close below uh, this level. It's going to take a close below. This should be 142, right? So it's going to take a close below 142 to get a run towards 140. All right. So, like I said, it's want to watch closely. So what we want to watch closely for trade opportunities, right? With Stanley's currently at support, all right? With Stanley's trend line from this high, all right? It's currently sitting at support, all right? It's currently sitting at support. But for this to again become bearish from the current level, price needs to take out 144. All right, it needs to take out 144. Let's see that. Needs to take out 144. Let's see that. This is what GP1 on daily time frame. This is what we have on 30 minutes. We have 30 minutes and then on 15 minutes as well. All right. So this is the same trend line on this one daily time frame. All right, this trend line. Okay. So on 15 minutes, let's break that trend line. because prices above this to act as support, right? Expect that trend line to act as support. So this bearish move now, you may see it come all the way to this trend line, all right? It come all the way to this trend line, all right? And then at that point, you look for the opportunity to buy, all right, at this trend line, okay? If price takes out the trend line, closes below it, then uh, you may see some more weakness for USD JPY. All right. So I believe this is a good place to leave it for today. I'm sure that you'll be able to uh, get one or two assets or trade opportunities today and the rest of the week, depending on how they play out. All right, depending on how they are eventually. So we have some really nice setups on some assets that we've been able to touch on so far. And this will be a good place to do for today. All right. At this point, I say thank you for joining us on today's edition of the Morning Market Review. It's been really fantastic talking to us for the last 1 hour. Right. Tomorrow, we'll continue another session of the Morning Market Review. Remain same time for 8 o'clock. Thank you for joining once again. And here's wishing us a great trading day.